Okay, these are the notes for section 3.4, and this is going to build on what we did in 3.3. So in 3.3 you checked to see if you had a proportion or not by comparing two fractions to see if they were equal. And now we're going to actually write some proportions and solve them. And we'll learn another way to solve it in the next section, but for now it's just going to be like doing equivalent fractions. It's really not so bad. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is write some proportions, and some of them are going to come in a table that looks like this. And you're just going to write a couple ratios and set them equal to each other. So here, so for a cat, these cats go 5 feet for every 3 seconds. So all you're going to do is make this one ratio here, so you get 5 is to 3. Now they're going to leave off one number here, they're going to put a letter in there. So for the dogs, it's 7 feet for t seconds, so equals 7 over t, and that's all you got to do. Okay, we're not going to solve anything. We're not going to do anything else. You don't have to tell me if it's a proportion or not. You just have to write it out. So 5 over 3 equals 7 over t. Okay, so here's another one. In a lake, there are 3 trout for every 5 bass. So from right there, I can see I get one ratio, which is 3 is to 5, equals, okay, they're a proportion. They tell us that, so we'll put an equals there. And then it says there are X trout for every 105 bass. So you got to be a little careful here. So trout is in the numerator. Trout is on top of the fraction. So trout has to be on top of the fraction here. So that means I need X on top. And bass 105 on the bottom, and that's it. So 3 is to 5 as X is to 105. So remember, if trout are on top here and bass are on the bottom, trout have to be on top here and bass on the bottom. So in general, the things on the top have to match. So here they were feet, and then seconds on the bottom. So here we have trout on top, bass on the bottom. Same thing. So just make sure they all line up and they all match. Okay, and then you're going to have to solve a couple proportions. And so we're just really going to be making equivalent fractions. That's all we're going to do. So just look at these. Eventually I'll show you a different way, but for now we're just going to think, what do you have to multiply to 5 to get to 30? Okay, well 5 times 6 is 30. So if I multiply 6 down here, I got to multiply 6 down here. So to get m, I'm going to multiply 1 by 6. So let me write that out here. M equals 1 times 6, because that's what I'm multiplying on the top, on the numerators here, on the top of the fraction. So 1 times 6 is 6, so m equals 6. Okay, so let's see. Let's figure out what we're multiplying here. Oh, looks like it's going to be 6 again. And I just made these up in my head before I wrote them down here. So not every problem is going to be a 6 like it is here. So 7 times 6 is 42. Okay, so if I multiply 7 by 6 to get to 42, I have to multiply 3 by 6 to get x. So x equals 3 times 6, which is 18. Again, it's not always going to be a 6, but just so happened to be that was the number that was stuck in my head when I was writing these out. So hopefully that, again, is enough to get you through everything that you need to do in section 3.4. You'll be writing some proportions, and then you'll be solving some really just by looking at what you need to multiply and make some equivalent fractions. It's not so bad, I hope. Again, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to let me know. Thank you very much.